On Tuesday, February 28th, a press conference was held at the new Thomas A. Robinson Stadium with remarks given by the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Dr. Daniel Johnson. Introductions were made by the Director of Sports, Mr. Tim Munnings, a former Olympian, who introduced the Chairman of the National Sports Authority, Mr. Leon Archer, who briefed the body on the state of preparations for the 2013 CARIFTA Games, scheduled for March 29th through April 1st, 2013. Mr. Archer assured everyone that a command center had been established to ensure that security, which is of paramount importance to the Games, is top-notch. He also announced that ticket outlets would be open on Monday, March 4th at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium and the Kendall G.L. Isaacs Gymnasium.
Thank you and good morning. I'd like to give special recognition to the Honorable Minister, Dr. Danny Johnson, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Senator Greg Burrows, Acting Permanent Secretary Calvin Balfour, Chairman of the National Sports Authority, Mr. Leroy Archer, Minister Hope Strawn, Chairman of the CARIFTA Local Organizing Committee, Mr. Basil Christie, Members of Parliament, we mentioned that, Hope Strawn, and any other distinguished guests here. We'd like to thank you for coming to this morning's press conference and welcome you here to the National Stadium. We're here really today to update the Bahamas and the world who are all watching and excited to know how we are coming with our CARIFTA preparedness. We're very excited, and that's why we're here. We expect for the information and activities and the excitement to build. We have the beginning of March, either tomorrow or the day after. So we want to keep everyone up to date as to what's happening. So this time, I'm going to call Mr. Leroy Archer, Chairman of the National Sports Authority, whose home we're in today, to tell us exactly how the stadium is being prepared to welcome all of our hundreds of guests coming from around the region.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our grand Thomas A. Robinson National Sports Stadium. First of all, I want to make sure that you understand that it's a brand new day in sports. As we try to raise the standards of what we are doing here in the Bahamas. I want everyone to understand that we're going to call on all of you to share the same vision, to share the same focus, and support each other as we uplift our athletes to that great pinnacle so that we will win these CARIFTA Games. I have been challenged to make sure that the stadium is ready to host this grand event. And what a challenge that is. I want all of you to understand that we are in the process, or you'll be informed shortly about the track certification. You will be informed that we are doing lots of upgrades to make sure that it will be ready for this weekend. Any times that your athletes run on the track will be recognized and will be certified. Currently, we are installing the railings to ensure that there's safety going up to the heights of the stadium. We are repairing the inner field. As you can see, we've closed the field to make sure that the field is at its #1 standard. We are repairing cracks. We are painting. We are going to make sure that when you walk in this stadium, come CARIFTA Day, that you will be a proud Bahamian for what you see out there. We have an event command center that we're actually building at the end, the south of our field, so that at all times, security can see what's going on. There's a full-fledged view of what is happening in the stadium at all times. Our ticketing system, which we will not use for CARIFTA, but we will use for the Tottenham Hotspurs, is up and running. It's on our website. You can actually go and check it and make sure that you can actually use your credit card to purchase tickets online. We also have a ticket booth here that if you wish to purchase tickets there as well, you can actually purchase tickets. And that's for Tottenham Hotspurs. That's not for CARIFTA. I want you all to realize that we have been testing this track from the beginning of January. We made sure that all systems will work come CARIFTA Day. We've had the BAISS, we're having the GSSSA today, and you will see that we can use the stadium, and we will iron out the kinks to make sure that the stadium is at the highest standard for CARIFTA. And of course, we must thank BEC because they are working to try to ensure that all the electrification challenges that we have will be completed in time for CARIFTA. Without further ado, I think I should probably let Mr. Basil Christie tell you more about exactly what is going to happen come CARIFTA Day. I thank you.
Chairman of the local organizing committee of the 2013 CARIFTA Games is Mr. Basil Christie, former chairman of the Special Olympics Committee. He shared that a number of volunteers had been working behind the scenes feverishly for the past 6 months, and that it's by their committed combined efforts that we have gotten to this stage of preparations for the Games. He noted that we owe the volunteers a vote of thanks.
I've never seen so many cameras and microphones. I'm ready. Action. I am grateful for this opportunity to speak to the Bahamian public about the progress being made in the preparation for CARIFTA 2013. There's so many areas of support that the local organizing committee has received that I am confident, and we're all confident, these are certainly going to be the best games ever. Locally, we've had the strong support of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, the National Sports Authority, and many local sponsors, beginning with BTC, Atlantis, Bahamas Beverages, Caribbean Bottling, Bahamas Business Solutions, Nassau Motors, and the list goes on. But most importantly, we've had the support of a very dynamic, diligent, and committed local organizing committee. We are about 40 dedicated volunteers dedicated to planning these games in every area, beginning with accommodations, transportations, credentials, every aspect of the planning. They've been working for well over 6 months, and it's easy to say that their efforts are paying off as we go through our checklist, and one by one we're saying, done, done, done. The opening ceremony, which is the start of this great event, is planned. It's going to be a display of Bahamian culture and Caribbean culture. It's going to be a good start to motivate these athletes to produce even many more records than we have done in the past. The support from the region, likewise, has been high. The NACAC, there's the North American, Central American Athletic Conference, they have been here rendering their support financially and in guidance and in promotion of the games. Beyond that, the International Athletic Association, the world governing body for track and field, have been there supporting us straight across the board. And it's easy to say that these will be the best games ever because the new stadium, the diligent people that committed to the plans, the financial support that has come forward, it's been impressive. But finally, I'd like to say that the support of the Bahamian public in general, we continue to appeal to you in whichever way you can, finances or in-kind support and attendance at these games. We would like to see these seats filled every day. And we can guarantee you that you won't be disappointed. Not only are you going to see the world's best perform, but it's going to be entertaining. This will not just be a competition event. This is going to be a grand celebration and much entertainment. It's one that you don't want to miss. So the appeal is for you to be present. I'd like to say finally that the tickets that you're anxious to purchase will not be ready until Monday. The sophisticated system we're introducing for the production of tickets. It's taken a little bit longer, but on Monday the tickets will be available for the public. You are aware, of course, that tickets are online, and many people have been purchasing tickets already through the use of their credit cards. We invite you, you can call into the Secretariat office to reserve your tickets, but they will not be available for purchase until Monday. The website will provide you with more information about this upcoming event. Our website is www.CARIFTA2013.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Christie. Thank you, Mr. Archer. Just before we bring up the Honorable Minister, you may have seen the advertisement where the Minister says this will be the best CARIFTA Games ever. The Bahamas has a reputation of when we put on anything, the chair I sit in, I hear it all the time. When we invite persons to come to the Bahamas for any event, the reports that we receive when they leave is, wow, they really put on a good show. Gymnastics, track and field events, bodybuilding, everyone sings the praises of what we put on when we're here. CARIFTA 2013 is going to be at that same standard. One thing with Bahamians, we like to show off, and we got something good to show off here. So get excited, because this is going to be our Olympics. So we want to fill this stadium. We want to excite the kids. Mr. Archer, we have to be prepared to refurbish the track again, because I know we can be burdened up. So get excited. We're really looking forward to these exciting games. We have Mr. Mike Sands, who's joined us from the B3As.
Minister, everything is all in place. I understand my chairman has already made his remarks, but I will tell you, if he hasn't said so, and if he did, then forgive me for repeating it. But the fact is that this is going to be the most exciting CARIFTA Games ever, as supported by the minister's statement at the end of the commercials that you would have been hearing. There are 26 countries that are eligible to participate at CARIFTA. To date, 23 countries have already indicated their intent to be here, along with about 160, 150 officials, 500 plus athletes. The IAAF, the President Diak, and his delegation is going to be here. NACAC is going to be here. There are 70 U.S. coaches that have registered their intent to be here to look at all the athletes that are going to be in one place at one time. And so we are in for a very exciting time. I think today starts about a 30-day countdown from CARIFTA, and everything you'll be hearing over the next several weeks and days leading up to will be CARIFTA. And in our backyard, we ain't going to let them come and take nothing from us. So not at home in this beautiful place. Thank you, and we're ready to roll. Thank you.
Minister of Sports Danny Johnson assured that we have one of the best sporting facilities in the region, and he predicted that the Bahamas would host one of the best CARIFTAs ever. He further assured that the facility had been certified by the IAAF, a major point of concern leading into the games.
Please welcome the Honorable Dr. Danny Johnson.
Good morning, ladies and gents. I've made some very bold statements in the last few weeks, and it's going to get even more emboldened as we come to the end of March. We believe in Bahamians, and we know we have had great success before, and we're looking forward to great success again. There are three reasons why I proclaim this CARIFTA Games the best ever, and they're very simple. One is that we have assembled the best team of professionals ever brought together in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, some of whom you see right here. Two, we have had built, assembled, prepared, completed the best sports facility ever in the entire region. And three is the simplest one. This is the best ever because it's being held where? In the Bahamas. And that's just the way we do it. But we're also going to show the world how proud, how pleasant, how great it is to still be Bahamian. Yesterday, in a conversation with my dear uncle there, we were talking about the power of sports. And the first Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Mr. Kendall Nottage, declared that the Bahamas could be and would be a sports power of a certain number. You all remember the number he called? Numero uno, a #1 sports-rated power, not in the region. He took that to the world. And we're handing out a brochure today to prove that he was right, right? We went out to the world, a little tiny country from the middle of nowhere, and we came back with what prize? Number 1. Sports then has the power, and all of us remember, where were you on Friday the 10th of August, 2012, at 4 p.m. in the afternoon? And this is an immigration question, because if you don't know the answer, my friend, you cannot be Bahamian. Everybody knows that split-second moment when the race began, and as each baton passed, and we went out in front, and we knew, boy, when Ramon Miller came around that final bend, and he looked at this guy in his eyes, and the fella started shaking, well, that was it. Curtains, we knew once again that the Bahamas had taken its rightful place. But that is for the sportscasters and news writers to continue the history of these great events. Today, I really wish to join with all of our partners in congratulating them and demonstrating to the Bahamas that we are ready for CARIFTA. All I hope is that the people who come into CARIFTA are ready for us. I'm indeed pleased to convene this press conference to discuss not only the Bahamas' readiness to host the 2013 CARIFTA Games, but also to launch us as the #1 sporting destination in this region. I've already spoken, I had talks with Kendall Nottage earlier. I can't copy his words, but he said, build on what I have done. So we go from just being a sports power, we're going to become a sports destination. And that march begins today. You may be aware that the Bahamas last hosted the CARIFTA Games all the way back in 2002. And for the people in here who remember that year, that was a great year also, some 11 years ago, but much has transpired since then. And while we have not won the CARIFTA Games since 1984, we have produced a number of outstanding athletes at these games who have earned the most prestigious Austin Seeley Award. They include the country's first recipient, Marianne Higgs, followed by Laverne Eve, then Pauline Davis, Debbie Ferguson, and most recently, the great Antonique Strawn. And I'm going to proclaim something on her too. Antonique Strawn will be the next person to replace and possibly eclipse the winnings of Veronica Campbell, who for years dominated the 100 and 200 meters sprints. These athletes have been deemed the most outstanding in the world at one time or the other. So now for us, hosting the 2013 Games provides an opportunity for the youth of the Bahamas, the coaches, their parents, the support of the community, to begin the Bahamas journey to again becoming #1, not only as a premier sporting entity in our region, but also as a premier sporting destination. In this hemisphere, this is our goal, and we will win again. CARIFTA 2013 will be held, as the chairman said earlier, on these magnificent grounds. People have had many words to say about these grounds, and you all just got to get used to me as a minister. I don't say nothing or show nothing until I'm ready and until it's ready. So today I'm pleased to inform that this stadium, with a seating capacity of 15,000 seats, a running track that meets IAAF certification requirements, a national stadium is ready to receive our guests. Adjoining the stadium is a full-service track and field facility, our first Thomas A. Robinson Stadium, that has been fully refurbished and has now been certified and is ready just for striping. These games will be like none other you've seen before. There is no facility in this region that boasts this complement of facilities. None. One can be used as a warm-up track, can be used for small games, can be used for training, winter training, and other events. It is important to note also that 3 technical teams have assessed our new renovated facilities. So this isn't just coming from me. I don't know a lot about track, I know some about sports medicine, a lot about legs. But 3 technical teams of the highest order have for the past month been working to fully assess these facilities. And today they have confirmed that they are indeed world-class standard. World-class standard. These agencies include the Benyon Sports Company, a company which has extensive experience in this business in the United States. They are responsible for laying some of the most highly profiled sites during the United States track and field season. These include the University of Oregon's Hayward Field, where you track and field enthusiasts would know that this is where the Olympic trials are held. This is the people working with us. And has hosted many, many NCAA events, the national and masters championships to be included. The other firms that have favorably assessed the facilities are the IAAF's technical head and the technical teams with the government of the People's Republic of China, led by Qilu Construction Company, who really must be congratulated today. We got to give them a hand. They are traveling, and they have to give the Chinese people a hand for constructing the foundations of this fantastic complex. Please. As the LOC chair mentioned earlier, tickets for these games are flying. Thousands have already been sold, and we have not even opened the box office yet. So I encourage Bahamians, if you don't want to be upset, next week this will be just like Junkanoo, all right? But this ain't Rawson Square and Shirley Street. Everything here is grandstand. So next week, if people want to have seats, please come and get them. We are 1 month away, and we are ready to roll. The Bahamian community, as well throughout the United States, the Caribbean, and elsewhere, are looking on with interest. ZNS and the corporate sponsors, the various bodies, are going to try and get this information out to them as fast as possible. We have renowned coaches visiting from all around the United States and Canada, and they wish not only to see these facilities, but to see the great Bahamian talent. Over the ensuing weeks ahead, those dynamic days leading up to these games, you will be seeing information on the sports redevelopment of this country. For me as a minister, when I speak to the country, this is not a personal view. It's not the view of the chairman. It's not the view of the B3As. I'm speaking to you from the point of view as in the context of sports as it relates to national development. Okay? My position is the context of the Bahamas as it relates to including sports in the national development. And traditionally, the sports department has not ever got a budget commensurate with our performance. And I'm asking this year of the Bahamian people, of the cabinet, of the financial secretary, look what we have done. We need your support. So you in the media, y'all got to understand where I'm coming from, right? This is sports as it relates to national development. If we want to be number one, we got to invest like it, we got to mean it, and I guarantee you we can do it. We've been number one before, and we intend to be number one again. I'm well aware, however, that it has taken a concerted effort to pull this entire thing together. At this point, I would like to pause and mention the former Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the late Charles Maynard, who would have seen this first part of the project to its natural conclusion, and is not here with us today, so I'd like a moment of silence on his behalf. And many others whose great skill, experience, passion, leadership, and strength, that all of you in this room, and some who are not here, have brought us to this point of absolute readiness. Therefore, I take this opportunity on behalf of the government and the people of the Bahamas, on behalf of the Prime Minister, to expend our sincere gratitude for all the agencies, individuals that would have assisted in us preparing thus far. In particular, I wish to recognize a young Bahamian engineering firm called IBS, Integrated Building Services, And a group of engineers led by Mr. Nick Dean, I don't think he's here today, but, oh, sorry, Nick, right there, stand up, man. Nick Dean and his two partners, please stand, gentlemen. Please stand. These are the faces of the young Bahamians who worked on the master plan that you see around here. Young engineers who worked in conjunction with the green space, master plan, flow charts, complete build-out of what you will see one day as a $100 million, 450-acre sports facility that no one anywhere in this region can match. Those three faces. Give them a round of applause, please. Thank you, sir. Therefore, I also call on, our youth department has never gotten a real budget. Where is Turnquest? But this is what young Bahamians can do. At this time, I also have to acknowledge what some around here call the Great One. And that is the outstanding contributions of the late great track icon, Mr. Thomas Augustus Robinson, who passed away last year, and we honored him in this place. And I really wish that Tommy was here for this CARIFTA Games. But I know he will be here in spirit, and I'm sure that he is talking with some athlete who is going to make some great performance. And we will perhaps, Mr. Sands and the B3As, have an outstanding award or honor in name of Thomas Augustus Robinson for these particular games. Ladies and gentlemen, the responsibilities of hosting this CARIFTA have been clearly demarcated. Those of the National Sports Authority, those of the B3As under the leadership of Mike Sands and the local organizing committee. The National Sports Authority, the NSA, is the agency representing the government and has responsibility for ensuring the readiness of these facilities. The B3As, on the other hand, and the LOC, has a responsibility for organizing and pulling off the actual game. As you can all see, the facilities are up and ready to go, and the B3As have their plans on schedule, and they are ready to roll. We therefore look forward to a very successful CARIFTA Games, and we are more than excited to welcome the guests who will come and shower them with Bahamian hospitality that only us know and can show. I assure you, this is one for the ages. So as I proclaimed earlier, and I'll say it again, you'll keep hearing me saying it, this will be the best CARIFTA ever. I thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, press. You have about 2 minutes for questions, and then we would like to invite you on a very brief pre-boiled fish tour. Questions, please. You're from the...
Oh, sorry, Kelsey Johnson.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Minister, how do you propose from going from a sports power to a sporting nation? What are some of the developments that you want to
Now, this is why we got to get these words right. I didn't say a sports nation. We get from a sports power to a sports destination, right? And you got to follow me closely with this. When we lined up at the Olympic Games, in one of the lanes you had Germany, an industrial an industrial power. You had China, an economic juggernaut. The United States, an economic and military juggernaut. Japan, a technical juggernaut. And in these little lanes tucked in the corners, the Bahamas. That says that in the powerful nations of the world, you are ranking, even if you come last, you in the top 10, okay? Well, 8, but some tracks got 10 lanes. But I'm just saying, you're in that league. You are a sports power. Kendall Nottage recognized that from 1977. What I recognize now, to build on what he saw, his vision, is that it's an exchange. So as we go to your house for dinner, and we had a great time in London. We go down to Jamaica. We went to Bermuda, to the last CARIFTA. We had a great time there. We now invite people to our place. So as a destination, the Bahamas has a chance now to rebrand, refine our position in tourism by taking firm grasp of this thing called sports tourism. And no one has the combination of things we have in the Bahamas to become a sporting destination. Water, clear roads, clear skies, best weather, infrastructure, hotels, accommodation, airports, multiple islands, multiple sites. Nowhere in the world on this planet is anyone as prepared as the Bahamas to jump out as a sports destination. So, we take it as ours.
Sergeant.
The refurbishment of the old track, what all does it entail and
Currently, we did a full refurbishment of the old track because we wanted to make sure that Bahamians had a first-class warm-up track on which we could run and practice, not only for CARIFTA, but for all events that we plan to host in the future. Currently, we're doing the striping of that. That should be completed by early next week. It should have been completed by Friday. However, due to the weather that we're having, it may be delayed a day. But I assure you that once the painting is complete, we will be able to use the track. On top of that, we're also painting, we're changing planks. We want to make sure that that area of the old stadium will be used.
New lights.
And new lights as well. And if you walk over, you will see that there's a lot of construction being done to raise the standard. And we're really going to make sure that it's done in time for CARIFTA.
And what about the infield from the new stadium? When will that be open?
Well, that's going to be ready for CARIFTA. That is what we're aiming for. And as you can see, that we have actually closed the infield currently because we actually had to kill the weeds. So we had to really resand, reseed, rewater to make sure that there's a #1 standard there for the infield.
And just by the way, so people, our infield is coming up FIFA Class 1 standard. This is not our infield that you will see at the end of next month is not just a track and field infield. That infield will look like a pool team. That's for FIFA World Class standard. We're going to start hosting Premier Division 1 soccer games as of May. So it's not what you see is beyond the requirements of anything that we've ever had.
Now, the track is standard level, certified level 1, level 2. I know there's a difference. Can you explain to the public the differences and when we will achieve the higher standard?
Tim, you ready to answer that question? Or you'll take that one? Okay.
All of the present conditions we have now are all certified up to the level of the requirement of everything that we're hosting. We are looking at hosting greater and greater events. If we wish to go higher, there are cosmetic changes that can be made. We have to bring in more seating. You have to look at maybe 25,000 seats as opposed to 15. We're going to cross that when we get to it. But for everything we're doing this year, we have met the gold standard for the region. Everything we've met. Thank you very much.
This has been another Bahamas Athletics Road to CARIFTA 2013 update. Stay tuned as the excitement builds. I'm Anthony A.C. Coakley. See you at the track.